people. You don't want to show. I never know how cold.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
We're back with more talk time here on Activated Mornings. At this time, we are going to be conducting an interview with Ambassador Alan Alexander, and we're speaking on the CARICOM Free Movement, which takes effect tomorrow. Good morning to you, Mr. Alexander.
Good morning, Dianna. How are you doing?
I am good, and you?
Not bad at all. Very well.
Lovely.
All right, good morning to you, Ambassador.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, so let us know, what is this free movement of persons between Barbados, Belize, and Dominica? And, well, of course, SVG, what is this all about?
Well, to begin, just to add a little context, as part of CARICOM, St. Vincent and Grenadines has always been trying to make efforts to build the CARICOM single market economy, which basically allows for the free movement of goods, services, capital, persons, and so on across the participating member states. At our regular meeting of 49th regular meeting of the CARICOM Heads of Government, which was held in Jamaica on the 7th and 8th of July this year, the heads agreed that Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines could go ahead to pursue full free movement of their nationals as of tomorrow, the 1st of October, 2025. So it's a really, really big day for us tomorrow. Yes, go ahead.
Right, so exactly in layman's term, right? What does this mean for us?
Well, what does it mean for us? It means that citizens of St. Vincent and Grenadines can move freely to any of the other three participating member states, being Belize, Barbados, and Dominica. Well, we already have free movement between St. Vincent and Grenadines and Dominica under the OECS arrangement. So it's just now the inclusion of Barbados and Belize, where citizens can move to these countries. As you enter the port of, as you get to the port of entry, you'll be stamped with an indefinite stamp, which allows you the opportunity to move, come and go as you please. You would be allowed to stay in the country for an extended period. In the past, we would have gone to one of the other CARICOM member states and you would be stamped for a 6-month period. But now this allows you to be free, where you could stay indefinitely in any of the 4 participating member countries. You're allowed to work in these countries without work permits. You're allowed to education, primary and secondary education. You'll be allowed to access those services as a Vincentian, for instance. You would be allowed to access emergency and primary health care as a citizen would have of any of the participating member states. So it's a big step in freeing up our country and moving forward as a United Caribbean.
Okay, so when I get to the airport, let's say of Barbados, right? Would they be asking me the purpose of visit? Would they also be asking, let's say if I said I'm coming to work, would I have to show that I have already gained employment, secured employment? Would I have to tell persons exactly where it is I'm staying? What questions could possibly be asked to me when I arrive at the airport?
Well, the regular immigration related questions can be asked. Where you're staying, how long you want to stay, and so on. They could be asked, but they would not be. You would still be allowed to stay indefinitely. If you are going for a job, they wouldn't ask you, for instance, if you had a job already, because you're allowed. That's been allowed under this whole enhanced cooperation and freedom of movement, where you can go and you can go there and look for a job. What is recommended though, and that's something that we are still setting up, is a registration process where we want persons to, if they go, for instance, to Belize to work, where after a period of a week, if that's the intention, a week or so, they register that with the competent authority, their intention to stay and intention to work. And that's basically a lot for statistical purpose, to make sure that you are logged into the Inland Revenue Service, that you are logged into the Social Security services and so on, and that you are basically there as a citizen of the country.
Okay. What requirements would persons need to meet for living and working?
For living and working, what requirements? Well, basically your passport. Once you have a CARICOM passport of any of the member states, you are now allowed to live, work. Of course, there are other security concerns that normally would pass through the system, where, I mean, once you're not, the security personnel don't see you as a threat to the state and so on, or that you're there to become like a personal welfare and so on. You're allowed to just go. You're allowed to find a job. So the possibilities are really endless in terms of what you can do and what you're allowed to do once you decide that you want to. We don't expect, for instance, on tomorrow, October 1st, to see a floodgate of persons traveling, coming or going. Obviously, the relocation of someone is, it's a task that you have to have a lot of, know what you're doing first before you're going to do something like that. So we don't expect like a mad rush of persons coming here or leaving St. Vincent and Grenadines to go and look for employment. But it allows you that opportunity to have a wider cross-section of countries now where you can go and look for opportunities.
Okay. I think
or
that
come here and look for opportunities.
Right. I know that the relationship between SVG and Barbados has been an interesting one, but is it a case where this just needed to be formalized because it's been happening for a while now? What was the main reason for, I suppose, formalizing this agreement?
Well, CARICOM countries had agreed to full free movement by 2024, and this did not happen. This did not happen for a number of reasons. There are a lot of things that weren't ironed out, and countries weren't ready to do it. These 4 countries, we decided that we wanted to basically pilot this thing and see how it works. As you said, Barbados and Grenadines do have a long history, from slave migration and so on, and Belize as well, because Belize is also home of a lot of our Garifuna brothers and sisters. So it was like the 4 countries that definitely had it much easier to just get up and decide, let's do this thing.
Okay. All right. I know a friend of mine who's a reporter sent me a series of questions ahead of the implementation of this tomorrow. He asked me these questions since last week, but what are some of the challenges that you think may be encountered by the islands? One of them that you just indicated might be the concern of, let's say, citizens, and let's use SVG as a reference, of persons possibly coming here for our jobs. What can you say to persons with regards to that? Because we know that our tourism in particular is picking up. There are different hotels, etc., that are opening. And, there's a little bit of, while we are West Indians and we open to being all united and all as one, we still know that there are still instances where we're very nationalistic. So what can you say to the affairs of some persons with regards to that?
As I said, I don't see that there will be a mass exodus of persons moving initially, but there are opportunities for move. St. Vincent and Grenadines, as you say, we say that our country, our population, we have a relatively small population, so it actually would be adding to what we have. I don't see it as a negative thing. I see it as something that we definitely have to make some plans for. You have to make sure that our social services, that we are set up to accommodate these things, our schooling system and so on, that we plan for it in advance. But the government have been doing that. There new hospital that we also building there and so on, port expansion. There are a lot of things that we are putting in place currently for the development of our country. So I don't see that as a major issue, but I can understand why persons would immediately think, that would be a challenge. But I don't think so. I think that we are preparing ourselves for that.
Okay. How are persons eligible, or who are the eligible persons for this free movement?
Any citizen of the 4 current member states are eligible to move. Any citizen of Barbados, Belize, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Once you're a holder of CARICOM passport, that is the recognized travel document that will be used in the interim. You are eligible to go. Once you travel with your CARICOM passport, you would be an indefinite stamp will be placed. I think Barbados is probably the only country who does this electronically, so you wouldn't get a stamp in your passport, Barbados. But for the other 3 countries, you would be getting a stamp so that you are indefinitely allowed to move and travel to and from these countries at will.
What about persons with convictions or previous convictions?
Well, as I said before, there's the security aspect that is basically a continuation of what happens now, because there are things in place where for instance, there's the advanced passenger information system, which is managed through impacts, where persons within, I think, 20 minutes of your flight, the country know exactly who were on board these flights. They have your history. If you're a security risk, we would have that information. So those things will continue as is, in terms of how we plan for it. Those things will continue.
Okay. And at the CARICOM level, given that we now have this free movement, I'm not sure if you could answer it, but maybe you have been in conversation with, but is there going to be like an additional push for marketing of regional tourism in particular between these islands, given that we're now going to have this easier, freer movement? Because we know that, yes, many times persons look to travel internationally, but how many Vincentians have actually considered going to Belize for a vacation? So is there going to be, let's say that an additional marketing push with regards to tourism of that movement between our region and the countries?
I know the Caribbean Tourism Association have started talks as it relates to that, because that is also a very good opportunity for us in terms of the tourism push between our countries. Belize, as you said, is a country that particularly, I am interested in, given the Garifuna connection. If you go to Belize, there are countries down there, persons down there, who look at St. Vincent and the Grenadines as their motherland. And they hear you from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and treat you extra special. A lot of them have been, a lot of them through we have a program that we do every year around National Heroes Day, where Garifunas from all over the world come here to celebrate with us. So that is something I see as something that will be very popular. I don't know the exact plans in terms of the tourism marketing, but I know that there are talks that have been started already in relation to this.
Okay. And given that we're starting with Barbados, Belize, Dominica and SVG, when can we expect the other countries of CARICOM to come on board?
Well, that's a question I can't answer, but we're hoping that they will see the success of what is happening here with these 4 countries. We've been having some very strong planning meetings leading up to this, between all 4 countries in the various sectors where we look at where this will be impacting the most: immigration, healthcare, education, especially, and these things. So we call ourselves the Magnificent 4, jokingly. Being the first four countries who decided to take this step towards piloting this very important initiative that I see. Well, I can only imagine that other countries, after seeing the success of this, and I know it will be a success, that they will be willing to join on already. As I said before, to St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have already, through the OECS, have free movement among OECS countries. So it's just the rest of the CARICOM countries that will be coming on board in terms of also free movement.
Okay, and I know that travel amongst the OECS countries, you could just travel using your ID.
Yes.
Would it be the same for Barbados and Belize, or you have to use your passports?
The passport will be the only recognized. It would be the recognized travel document in the interim. We have not gone that far yet in deciding if we're going to. There are talks around it, but we have not gone that far yet in deciding if they want to use the other forms of identification like we do in the OECS.
Okay. All right. Oh, so I think maybe my final question. How is this going to be dealt with holders of passports who got them through CBI? What is going to happen? Would they also have free access of movement to us?
I think there's an arrangement. Something I have to get back to you, but there's something I think there's arrangement in relation to in the agreement of in the Treaty of Shiramas that deals with persons who have gotten citizenship through CBI, and it would not be, as far as I'm aware, not be the same as our regular persons.
Okay. So any final thing that you want to let us know? If we want to book a flight this afternoon.
Well, I just want
whatever.
I just want us to all just embrace this initiative and the positiveness that can come out of this initiative. The fact that we can move to these four countries and live as if you are citizens of this country is a big deal. It's a big deal for us, and we have to embrace the opportunities and so on that can come with it. And just think positively, just embrace it, and take advantage of any opportunity that can come your way. That's what I would suggest at the moment.
Okay. I see somebody calling. Do you wish to take a call from a listener? You have
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Let's see. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, again. What I want to, whether or not, well, you start with the four islands to
Okay, so caller, we're not hearing you.
Not hearing at all.
Yeah, it's breaking up. So the ambassador is not hearing clearly, and neither are we in studio.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So ambassador. Oh, final word. Sorry.
Yes. So I just want to again just put a plug as of tomorrow, the 1st of October 2025. The countries of Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and Grenadines will be implementing full free movement of its citizens. And there are a lot of things that we are still sorting out, ironing out as we move forward. But we want you to just keep a close eye. We will be doing a lot more of public relations and so on of what to expect and different things. So just want to embrace this and just to use it to our fullest advantage.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ambassador Alexander. And this brings us to the end of our interview with Ambassador Alexander, or SVG's ambassador to CARICOM, speaking on the full implementation of free movement between Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and SVG. Enjoy the rest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.